Fear. That cold grip that holds you back from becoming who you truly are. We all know it intimately. That voice inside telling us we're not ready, not good enough, not worthy of greatness. But what if I told you that this very fear, this doubt that plagues your mind, is actually the doorway to your transformation? In the quiet hours before dawn, while most of the world sleeps, a select few rise with determination burning in their hearts. These aren't supernatural beings or people blessed with extraordinary gifts. They're ordinary men and women who've made an extraordinary decision. They've chosen to develop what I call the warrior mindset. The warrior mindset isn't about physical combat or aggression. It's about waging war against mediocrity, against self-doubt, against the comfortable chains of average living that hold most people back from their true potential. It's about facing life's challenges with the unwavering spirit of a warrior who refuses to be defeated. Think back to the last time you faced a significant challenge. Perhaps it was a crucial presentation at work, a difficult conversation with a loved one, or simply getting out of bed when everything in you wanted to give up. How did you approach it? Did you shrink back hoping it would somehow resolve itself, or did you face it head-on with the spirit of a warrior? A young man once shared his story with me. He had grown up in a small town where dreams rarely ventured beyond the local factory walls. Everyone told him to be practical, to follow the well-worn path. But something inside him yearned for more. Despite having no money, no connections, and no support, he decided to pursue his education. He worked 2 jobs, studied through the night, and faced ridicule from those who thought he was chasing foolish dreams. For 3 years he lived on barely 4 hours of sleep. His hands were calloused from manual labor, his mind sharp from constant study. There were countless moments when giving up seemed like the only sensible choice. But he had developed the warrior mindset. He understood that comfort is the enemy of greatness, that growth happens in the space between breaking and becoming. Today, that same man runs a successful business that employs many from his hometown. But more importantly, he became living proof that the warrior mindset can transform not just one life, but an entire community. The warrior mindset begins with a fundamental truth. Life will test you. It will throw obstacles in your path, challenge your convictions, and try to break your spirit. These aren't punishments. They're opportunities. Each challenge is a chance to prove to yourself that you're stronger than you thought, more resilient than you imagined. Consider the bamboo farmer who plants his seeds and sees nothing for 4 years. No sprouts, no signs of life, just empty soil that he continues to water and tend faithfully. Many would give up, convinced they're nurturing dead earth. But in the 5th year, something remarkable happens. The bamboo suddenly shoots up, growing up to 90 feet in just 6 weeks. What was happening during those 4 silent years? The bamboo was developing an elaborate root system that would support its rapid growth. Those years of apparent nothingness were actually years of crucial foundation building. Your journey to developing a warrior mindset is similar. The changes may not be visible immediately, but every small decision, every moment of choosing discipline over comfort is strengthening your foundation. The warrior understands that true growth often happens in silence, in those moments when no one is watching, when there's no immediate reward or recognition. Take a moment right now to reflect. How many times have you given up just before your bamboo was about to break through? How often have you abandoned your goals because you couldn't see immediate results? The warrior mindset teaches us that patience isn't passive waiting, it's active preparation. The path of the warrior isn't about never feeling fear or doubt. It's about acknowledging these emotions and moving forward anyway. A warrior doesn't wait for motivation or inspiration. They understand that action precedes motivation. They know that courage isn't the absence of fear, but rather the decision that something else is more important than fear. Let me share another truth that many find uncomfortable. Comfort is a silent killer of dreams. In our modern world, we're surrounded by conveniences designed to make life easier. But the warrior understands that easy isn't always better. Growth happens at the edges of your comfort zone, in those moments when you're stretched beyond what you thought possible. Think about physical training. Muscles don't grow when you're comfortable. They grow when they're stressed, when they're pushed beyond their current capacity. The same principle applies to mental and emotional growth. The warrior mindset is developed through voluntary hardship, through choosing the difficult path when an easier one is available. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to crumble under pressure while others thrive? The difference isn't talent or luck, it's preparation. Warriors prepare in times of peace for battles they know will come. They don't wait for life to force growth upon them. They actively seek out challenges that will make them stronger. A seasoned mountain guide once shared a profound observation. He noticed that inexperienced climbers often rushed up the mountain eager to reach the summit, but the veterans, the ones who had conquered numerous peaks, moved slowly and deliberately. They understood that the mountain wasn't going anywhere, and that sustainable progress was more important than speed. This wisdom applies to developing your warrior mindset. It's not about dramatic overnight transformations or quick fixes. It's about consistent, deliberate action taken day after day. It's about making small choices that align with your larger vision, even when those choices are difficult or uncomfortable. The warrior mindset also teaches us about the power of perspective. When faced with adversity, the warrior doesn't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, they ask, "What is this teaching me? How can I use this to become stronger?" They understand that every obstacle is also an opportunity, every setback a setup for a comeback. Consider the story of a pottery teacher who divided his class into two groups. The first group was tasked with creating one perfect pot throughout the semester. The second group was told they would be graded solely on the quantity of pots they produced. When the semester ended, something interesting emerged. The highest quality pots came from the group focused on quantity. Why? Because they weren't afraid to fail. They learned from each attempt, each mistake, while the other group remained paralyzed by the pursuit of perfection. This is another key aspect of the warrior mindset, the willingness to fail forward. Warriors understand that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a component of success. They know that each failure contains valuable lessons that bring them closer to their goals. As we delve deeper into what it means to develop a warrior mindset, remember this. The greatest battles you'll ever fight won't be against external enemies. They'll be against the voices of doubt, fear, and complacency within yourself. The good news is that with every small victory, with every moment you choose courage over comfort, you're building the mental strength needed for larger challenges ahead. There's a profound difference between knowing the path and walking the path. Many people understand what they need to do to improve their lives, yet they remain stuck in patterns of mediocrity. The warrior mindset bridges this gap between knowledge and action. It transforms intellectual understanding into lived experience. Consider how a master craftsman approaches their work. They don't rush through tasks eager to reach the end. Instead, they find joy and meaning in the process itself. They understand that excellence isn't an act but a habit, that mastery comes from doing ordinary things with extraordinary attention and care. You might be wondering, how do I begin developing this warrior mindset? The answer lies in understanding that every moment presents a choice. Right now, in this very moment, you're making choices that either strengthen or weaken your warrior spirit. Are you fully present, absorbing these words with intention? Or is your mind wandering, already looking for an escape from the challenge of growth? The warrior mindset demands complete honesty with yourself. It requires you to look in the mirror and acknowledge both your strengths and weaknesses without judgment. This self-awareness isn't about self-criticism. It's about self-understanding. A warrior knows their capabilities and limitations intimately, not to accept them as permanent, but to use them as starting points for growth. Let me share a profound truth that many overlook. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. If you're sloppy with small tasks, you'll be sloppy with big ones. If you make excuses for minor commitments, you'll make excuses for major ones. The warrior understands that every action, no matter how small, is a vote for the type of person you're becoming. A seasoned martial arts instructor once shared how he could tell everything he needed to know about a student by watching them tie their belt. Those who rushed through it, leaving it crooked or loose, approached their training the same way, seeking shortcuts, avoiding difficulty. But those who tied their belt with precision and care, taking those extra few seconds to get it right, brought that same attention to detail to everything they did. Your daily routines. How do you make your bed in the morning? How do you organize your workspace? These seemingly insignificant actions are actually training grounds for your warrior spirit. Each small task is an opportunity to practice discipline, to strengthen your commitment to excellence. The warrior mindset also teaches us about the power of ritual, not empty ceremonies, but meaningful practices that center and strengthen us. Every culture throughout history has recognized the importance of ritual in developing mental strength. These aren't complicated practices. They're simple actions done with profound intention. Perhaps your ritual is waking up at the same time every day, regardless of how you feel. Maybe it's spending the first hour of your day in complete silence, planning and preparing for the challenges ahead. The specific ritual matters less than the commitment it represents. The commitment to showing up for yourself, to doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. One of the most powerful aspects of the warrior mindset is its approach to adversity. Warriors don't just accept challenges, they actively seek them out. They understand that comfort is the enemy of growth, that staying within your comfort zone is a slow form of decay. Water for a moment. When it's stagnant, it becomes toxic, breeding disease and decay. But when it's flowing, when it's challenged by rocks and rapids, it remains pure and vital. Your mind works the same way. Without challenges, without regular testing of your limits, your spirit becomes stagnant. The warrior mindset teaches us to love the plateau, those periods when progress seems to halt, when excitement fades and the work becomes mundane. Most people quit during these plateaus, seeking the next excitement, the next quick fix. But warriors understand that these plateaus are where real transformation happens, where character is built and skills are refined. Consider the story of a master piano tuner who had been practicing his craft for over 4 decades. When asked about the secret to his expertise, he didn't talk about natural talent or passion. Instead, he spoke about the thousands of pianos he had tuned, each one teaching him something new, each one requiring the same careful attention to detail. He found joy not in the occasional moments of breakthrough, but in the daily practice of his craft. This is another crucial aspect of the warrior mindset, the ability to find meaning in the mundane. Warriors understand that life isn't about waiting for spectacular moments. It's about bringing spectacular effort and attention to ordinary moments. The development of a warrior mindset also requires understanding the power of your environment. Just as a seed needs the right soil, temperature, and nutrients to grow, your warrior spirit needs the right conditions to flourish. This means being intentional about the people you surround yourself with, the information you consume, and the environments you expose yourself to. Have you ever noticed how your energy and motivation change depending on who you're around? This isn't coincidence. The warrior mindset recognizes that environment shapes behavior, that excellence is contagious, and so is mediocrity. Choose your surroundings wisely, understanding that they're either nurturing your warrior spirit or undermining it. Think of your mind as a garden. The warrior mindset is like a skilled gardener, constantly weeding out negative thoughts, planting seeds of possibility, and nurturing the growth of strength and resilience. This isn't a one-time effort, it's a daily practice of choosing what you allow to take root in your mind. The warrior also understands the importance of rest and recovery. This isn't weakness, it's strategy. Just as a sword must be resharpened after battle, your mind and body need periods of restoration to maintain their edge. But warrior's rest isn't about collapse or escape. It's conscious, purposeful recovery that prepares you for the next challenge. Many people live their lives like a leaf in the wind, blown about by circumstances and others' expectations. The warrior mindset teaches us to be more like the oak tree, deeply rooted in our values and principles, flexible enough to bend with life's storms, but strong enough to maintain our core integrity. One of the most profound aspects of the warrior mindset is its relationship with time. Most people live either in the past, dwelling on regrets and missed opportunities, or in the future, anxiously anticipating what might come. The warrior lives in the present moment, fully engaged with the task at hand, while maintaining a clear vision of their larger purpose. How many moments of your life slip by unnoticed because your mind is elsewhere? The warrior mindset teaches us that this moment, right now, is where your power lies. It's in this moment that you make the decisions that shape your destiny. The past is a lesson, not a prison. The future is a destination, not an escape. A master archer once demonstrated this principle in a remarkable way. When asked about his technique, he explained that he didn't focus on hitting the target. He focused on each element of his shot: the stance, the grip, the breath, the release. Each component received his complete attention. By fully inhabiting each moment of the process, the target became almost irrelevant. Excellence was found in the journey, not just the destination. The warrior mindset also teaches us about the power of silence. In our noisy world, we've lost touch with the strength that comes from quiet contemplation. Warriors throughout history have known that true power often lies not in what you do, but in what you refrain from doing. Not in what you say, but in what you choose to keep silent. Consider how often reactive behavior has led you astray. How many times have you spoken words you later regretted, taken actions that didn't align with your values, simply because you couldn't maintain that warrior's silence? The ability to pause, to create space between stimulus and response, is a hallmark of the warrior mindset. This brings us to another crucial aspect of the warrior's path, the understanding that strength isn't always about action. Sometimes the greatest strength is shown in restraint, in the ability to stay still when everything within you wants to move, to remain silent when everything within you wants to speak. A wise teacher once conducted an experiment with his students. He gave each a cup filled to the very brim with water and asked them to carry it across the room without spilling a drop. Those who rushed, focusing only on reaching the destination, invariably spilled their water. But those who moved slowly with complete attention on each step succeeded. The lesson: full presence in each moment is more important than rushing toward the goal. The warrior mindset also embraces the concept of productive discomfort. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid discomfort, but warriors understand that discomfort is the price of growth. They don't just accept discomfort, they learn to welcome it as a sign that they're pushing beyond their current limitations. The times in your life when you've grown the most, weren't they usually periods of challenge, of struggle, of stepping beyond what felt comfortable? The warrior mindset teaches us to reframe our relationship with difficulty. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" the warrior asks, "How is this happening for me?" Consider the metaphor of a sword being forged. The metal must endure extreme heat, repeated hammering, and careful tempering before it becomes a weapon of strength and beauty. Your warrior spirit is forged in much the same way, through challenges, setbacks, and moments of intense pressure that ultimately strengthen your character. But the warrior mindset isn't just about enduring hardship. It's about finding joy in the journey of growth. Warriors understand that happiness isn't found in the absence of challenges, but in the satisfaction of overcoming them. They don't wait for the perfect conditions to begin. They start where they are with what they have, right now. This brings us to another crucial aspect of the warrior mindset, the power of decisive action. Many people spend their lives in the gray area of indecision, waiting for certainty before they move forward. Warriors understand that clarity comes through action, not before it. They make decisions with the best information available, then fully commit to their chosen path. Water again. When it's heated to 211 degrees Fahrenheit, it's very hot, but it's still just water. Add one more degree and it transforms into steam, powerful enough to drive a locomotive. That 1 degree makes all the difference. Similarly, the gap between thinking about doing something and actually doing it might seem small, but it's the difference between potential and power. The warrior mindset also teaches us about the importance of preparation. Not the anxious preparation of the perfectionist who never feels ready, but the thorough preparation of one who respects the challenges ahead. Warriors prepare not out of fear, but out of respect for their craft and their mission. Consider how a chef prepares before cooking a meal. They don't just gather ingredients. They organize their workspace, sharpen their knives, plan their timing. This preparation isn't about anxiety or doubt. It's about creating the conditions for excellence. The warrior approaches every significant task with this same level of intentional preparation. Another vital aspect of the warrior mindset is the understanding of cycles. Just as nature moves through seasons, our lives and growth progress in cycles. There are times for intense action and times for recovery, times for learning and times for applying what we've learned. The warrior doesn't fight these natural cycles, but learns to work with them. How farmers work with the seasons rather than against them. They know when to plant, when to tend, when to harvest, and when to let the fields lie fallow. The warrior mindset applies this same wisdom to personal growth and achievement. There are times to push hard and times to rest, times to speak and times to listen, times to act and times to wait. The development of a warrior mindset also requires understanding the power of perspective. Two people can face the same situation and see entirely different things. One sees an insurmountable obstacle, while another sees an opportunity for growth. The warrior consciously chooses their perspective, understanding that how you see a situation largely determines how you'll respond to it. Consider the story of two stonemasons who were asked what they were doing. The first said, "I'm cutting stones." The second said, "I'm building a cathedral." Same task, but vastly different perspectives. The warrior mindset always connects daily actions to a larger purpose, finding meaning and motivation in even the most mundane tasks. The warrior mindset teaches us something profound about the nature of fear. Most people see fear as a wall, an impenetrable barrier that stops them from moving forward. But warriors understand that fear is actually a compass, pointing directly toward the areas of our lives that need the most attention, the most growth. When you feel fear rising within you, pay attention. That sensation isn't telling you to stop. It's revealing where you need to go. Every time you move toward what frightens you, you reclaim a piece of your power. Every time you face a fear, you expand your territory of comfort and capability. A master freediver once shared a profound insight about fear. As he descended into the depths of the ocean, he discovered that fear wasn't his enemy. It was his ally. Fear told him when to be cautious, when to check his equipment, when to adjust his technique. By listening to his fear rather than being controlled by it, he transformed it from a limitation into a tool for survival and success. The warrior mindset also teaches us about the power of commitment. Not the shallow commitment of New Year's resolutions that fade by February, but the deep, unshakable commitment that comes from aligning your actions with your core values. When you're truly committed, you don't need motivation. You have something far more powerful: purpose, the difference between interest and commitment. When you're interested in something, you do it only when circumstances permit. When you're committed, you accept no excuses, only results. The warrior doesn't wait for perfect conditions. They create favorable conditions through their unwavering commitment. Consider the metaphor of crossing a bridge. When you start crossing, you might look back, questioning your decision. But there comes a point where turning back requires more energy than moving forward. The warrior mindset is about moving past that point of no return in everything you undertake, burning the bridges of retreat so that forward is the only option. This brings us to another crucial aspect of the warrior spirit: the relationship with pain. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid pain, but warriors understand that pain is an unavoidable part of growth. They don't seek pain for its own sake, but they don't shy away from it when it serves a greater purpose. How a pearl is formed. It begins as an irritant, a grain of sand that causes the oyster discomfort. But rather than trying to expel this irritant, the oyster transforms it into something beautiful. Similarly, the warrior mindset teaches us to transform our struggles into strength, our obstacles into opportunities. The warrior also understands the power of ritual and routine. Not the mind-numbing routine that dulls the spirit, but the kind of routine that sharpens it. Just as a sword must be maintained through regular care and attention, your warrior spirit needs daily practices that keep it sharp and ready. Consider the tea ceremony masters who turn a simple act of preparing tea into a profound practice of mindfulness and presence. Every movement is deliberate, every gesture meaningful. They understand that it's not what you do, but how you do it that transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary practice. This brings us to one of the most powerful aspects of the warrior mindset: the understanding that everything is practice. Every interaction, every challenge, every setback is an opportunity to strengthen your warrior spirit. There are no off days in the development of your warrior mindset. There are only opportunities to practice in different conditions. How a tree grows stronger when exposed to wind. The very force that threatens to break it actually strengthens it. The same principle applies to your warrior spirit. It grows stronger through resistance, through challenge, through adversity. Each difficulty you face is like the wind that strengthens the tree. The warrior mindset also teaches us about the power of patience. Not the passive patience of waiting for something to happen, but the active patience of persisting without losing heart. It's the patience of the sculptor who knows that each small chip of the chisel is necessary, even when the final form isn't yet visible. Consider the story of a watchmaker who spent decades perfecting his craft. When asked why he devoted so much attention to parts that no one would ever see, he replied that true craftsmanship isn't about what others can see. It's about knowing for yourself that you've done your absolute best. The warrior brings this same dedication to everything they do. Another crucial aspect of the warrior mindset is the understanding of energy management. Warriors know that energy, not time, is their most precious resource. They understand that it's not about how many hours you put in, but about the quality of energy you bring to each moment. How a master martial artist moves. There's no wasted energy, no unnecessary motion. Every action is purposeful, efficient, effective. The warrior brings this same economy of energy to all aspects of life, understanding that conservation of energy in one area allows for greater power in another. The warrior mindset also teaches us about the importance of boundaries, not walls that keep others out, but clear lines that define what you will and won't accept in your life. Warriors understand that your standards become your destiny. What you tolerate, you encourage. Consider how a garden needs both sun and shade, both water and dry periods to thrive. Your warrior spirit needs similar boundaries, knowing when to engage and when to withdraw, when to strive and when to rest, when to speak and when to remain silent. This brings us to another vital aspect of the warrior mindset, the understanding of momentum. Just as a flywheel requires great energy to begin turning, but then maintains its motion with less effort, your warrior spirit gains power through consistent action. Each small victory, each moment of choosing courage over comfort, builds momentum that makes the next challenge easier to face. How water shapes rock not through force, but through persistence. Drop by drop over time, it creates profound change. Your warrior spirit develops in the same way, not through dramatic gestures, but through consistent, dedicated practice. Each small action, each mindful choice shapes the person you're becoming. As we reach deeper into the essence of the warrior mindset, we must confront a fundamental truth. The greatest battle you'll ever face isn't against external circumstances. It's against the tendency to settle for less than you're capable of becoming. The warrior's greatest victory isn't over others, but over the voice of mediocrity that whispers, "Good enough," the last time you achieved something significant. In the moments before your breakthrough, everything in you probably wanted to quit. The warrior mindset is what carries you through those moments, not by eliminating doubt, but by teaching you to act in spite of it. Consider the metaphor of tempering steel. The metal must be heated and cooled repeatedly, each cycle making it stronger. Your warrior spirit is tempered in much the same way, through cycles of challenge and recovery, each making you more resilient, more capable of handling whatever life presents. The warrior mindset also teaches us about the power of legacy. Not in the sense of monuments or achievements, but in the impact we have on others through our daily choices and actions. Every time you choose courage over comfort, discipline over distraction, purpose over pleasure, you're not just changing your own life. You're setting an example that ripples out to affect countless others. How a single candle can light thousands of others without diminishing its own flame. Your warrior spirit works the same way. By developing and expressing it, you give others permission to do the same. Your courage becomes contagious, your discipline inspirational, your commitment a catalyst for change in others. This brings us to one of the most profound aspects of the warrior mindset, the understanding that true strength isn't about domination, but about service. The strongest warriors throughout history weren't those who conquered others, but those who conquered their own lower nature to serve a higher purpose. Consider the paradox of strength. The more you develop your warrior spirit, the less you need to prove it to others. True power isn't loud or boastful, it's quiet, confident, centered. It doesn't seek attention or validation because it's rooted in something deeper than external approval. The warrior mindset also teaches us about the power of choice. In every moment, you're choosing who you're becoming. Every decision, no matter how small, is a vote for or against your warrior spirit. Will you choose the easy path or the right one? Will you face the challenge or avoid it? Will you grow or will you shrink? How a compass always points north, regardless of weather or terrain. Your warrior spirit needs similar clarity of direction, a set of principles that guide your choices regardless of circumstances. When you're clear about what you stand for, decisions become simpler, not easier, but simpler. This brings us to another crucial understanding. The warrior's path is not about reaching a destination. It's about becoming the kind of person who's worthy of the journey. Every challenge you face, every obstacle you overcome, every fear you confront is shaping you into someone stronger, more capable, more alive. Consider how a diamond is formed, through intense pressure sustained over time. Your warrior spirit develops in the same way, through consistent challenge, through regular testing of your limits, through daily choices to push beyond what's comfortable into what's possible. The warrior mindset also teaches us about the power of presence. Most people live in a constant state of divided attention, never fully engaged with anything. Warriors understand that power lies in complete presence, in bringing your whole being to whatever you're doing, whether it's leading a meeting or tying your shoes. How different your life would be if you brought your full presence to every moment, if you treated every action as significant, every interaction as meaningful. The warrior mindset isn't just about handling the big moments. It's about bringing warrior-like attention and intention to every moment. As we close our exploration of the warrior mindset, remember this: you already have everything you need to begin this journey. You don't need special equipment, advanced training, or perfect conditions. You only need the willingness to start where you are with what you have right now. The path of the warrior isn't about becoming someone different. It's about becoming more fully yourself. It's about stripping away the layers of fear, doubt, and limitation that prevent you from expressing your true potential. It's about waking up each day ready to fight for your best self, ready to face whatever challenges life presents with courage, dignity, and purpose. Remember that every great warrior started exactly where you are now, with a decision. A decision to stop accepting less than their best. A decision to stop making excuses. A decision to start living with purpose and intention. That decision is available to you right now in this moment. The world doesn't need more people who have achieved easy things. It needs people who have developed the warrior mindset, people who have learned to face their fears, overcome their limitations, and live with purpose and integrity. It needs people who understand that comfort is the enemy of greatness, that growth happens at the edges of your capabilities. Your warrior spirit is calling to you right now. It's that quiet voice inside that knows you're capable of more. It's that part of you that comes alive when faced with a challenge. It's that deep knowing that you were meant for something greater than mere existence. The question isn't whether you have what it takes to develop the warrior mindset. You do. The question is whether you're willing to pay the price. Are you willing to face your fears? Are you willing to embrace discomfort? Are you willing to choose growth over comfort, purpose over pleasure, excellence over ease? The warrior's path isn't easy, but it's worth it. Every step you take toward developing your warrior mindset is a step toward becoming who you were meant to be. Every challenge you face, every fear you confront, every limit you push past is transforming you into someone stronger, more capable, more alive. The time for transformation is now. Not tomorrow, not when conditions are perfect, not when you feel ready. Now. The warrior understands that readiness is a myth. You become ready by beginning. You develop strength by facing challenges. You build courage by doing what scares you. Your warrior spirit is waiting to be awakened. It's waiting for you to make the decision to live with purpose, to face your fears, to embrace challenge as the path to growth. That decision is available to you right now in this moment. The path is before you. The choice is yours. Will you continue to live in the shadows of your potential, or will you step into the light of your true capabilities? Will you remain comfortable, or will you embrace the warrior's path of growth and transformation? The warrior within you is ready. The time is now. The choice is yours.